Send out the tweet. Oh no, I can't mute. Send out the tweet. There it is. All right. So it looks like we're live. Looks like everything's taken care of, and I think we are actually streaming. At least OBS says we are, with no drop stream yet. So hello everyone. This is Chris Ingerson, and it is January 12th, and this is the January 12th TextQuest Devstream. So today we're going to be doing a little bit. I'm gonna refresh my page because Twitch is freaking out, which always makes me nervous. A white screen. A solid white screen. Well, that's always encouraging. I like to keep Twitch open on my second monitor, and whenever the video player goes nuts, I get concerned because I'm never sure if it's me or never sure if it's Twitch. So what we're going to do today is some more work on the graveyard area in the dark, or in the woods level. And actually, one of the reasons that I was a little bit late starting the stream today is I seem to be having a vertical sorting bug with my woods layout, which I think is actually something I've had for a while and I just haven't fixed it yet. But you'll notice that our size is 9 by 13, and for some reason our grid is only showing 9 units horizontally, which is correct, and then 12 units vertically. Not entirely sure why this is the case. It's kind of strange. So we're going to be fixing that first before I can do anything. Because my plan was to get some actual layout completed on the graveyard area. So we're going to sort of like do a rough layout of the fences, probably the gravestones, and some of the other stuff. But if the woods layout view doesn't want to cooperate, then it's going to be a little hard to do that. So let me go ahead and pull up Google Drive real quick. I have some sketches for my design. Actually, I have ace. Well, technically there are multiple sketches on one page. So let me go ahead and find that. Should be this. Of course, it's not horizontal. I don't actually know if I can flip this or not. Doesn't look like it. So we're going to have to deal with this. I guess I could download it and then flip it. But you can see that I drew some rough sketches for the actual sort of individual sections in the forest. Here's our entrance at the top right, and our crossroads, some extra pathing, our end area near the grove, and then this at the top left, which is technically the bottom left, I guess, on the page, because the rotation, is the graveyard layout, which is by far probably one of the most massive areas, but also one of the... I guess I wouldn't call it massive necessarily. I think the entrance is still technically the largest, although graveyard's close. Actually, it looks like the graveyard is larger. Anyway, most of this is going to be dealing with gravestones, tree walls, and fences, as well as a mausoleum in the center of everything. So let's go ahead and go to Unity real quick, and we're going to try to fix this stupid bug. And what's really, really frustrating is you can see I'm debugging sort of the values of everything. So we have 9 by 13, which is the correct values up here. And we have 12 here, which means that it's getting to 12. But for some reason, it's only passing 11, which makes me think that it's actually being done off screen. And actually, you know what? I bet if I did something like this, just to check everything, if I is equal to total height minus 2, continue. So we're going to skip the last row, or the second to last row. I'm curious if this will actually have 0, 12 show up here now. Let's find out. Oh dear. Yep. Ah, I knew it. So it was actually rendering it. It's just that the row was too small for some reason. And for some reason that breaks everything. It's very odd. It makes no sense. If we get rid of this. I wonder if there's a limit on scroll areas for some reason. So now if we put that back, that is incredibly strange and very, very frustrating. So let's go ahead. How do we want to fix this? You know, honestly, I'm not entirely sure. These would be the total counts. I guess. This is rather annoying. Maybe that's because I need to actually change this. So my scroll view, as you can see, is this section right here at the top of our menu. And one of the, well, I mean, it's not really a problem. I like this, but for some reason it's just coming short. I have no idea why. I don't know if there's just something weird about how our scroll view is set up. I don't know if there's a limit on how much it can scroll. That seems to be the case for some arbitrary reason. Maybe if I don't pass a min height, I bet that's going to be terrible, though. I bet if I don't pass that, it's just going to be like a teeny tiny thing up here. And shizzy. Actually, it's much larger for some reason. But it's still wrong. What the hell? That makes no sense. Actually, I wonder if this... Oh, that's kind of nice. Well, I guess I'll keep that. But it's still wrong. So it'll auto-expand. That's nice. Well, silver lining it for everything, I suppose. So I don't need to specify a min height for that. That was actually clamping everything. Instead, I guess I need to set a... Well, see, a min height here doesn't work either, which makes me think that for some reason it... I don't even know how that would happen. Probably going to spend like 5 minutes on this, because if I can't fix this, it's not the end of the world, it's just an annoyance. And I'll have to fix it off the stream. But yeah, I don't really know why Twitch is, or not Twitch, why Unity does this, because it's all the values are being passed correctly. Again, you can see these test cases, but it's just not actually showing up, which makes me think that the scroll rect is stopping short of where we actually need to be, which is quite annoying. Don't like it when the editor does stupid stuff like that. So we're going to get a rect, and this is our actual grid rect, or at least that should be the case. Yeah, I wonder if I could do this. R dot height. Oh, probably can't do that. I would probably have to do GUI layout dot min height, and we would just do r dot height, I believe. Okay, let's try that and see if that works. Hopefully that'll fix our problem. I'd be very happy if it was that simple, but of course not. You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to do this. Plus section height. So I'm just going to have overdraw, basically, to force it to be larger. But I bet actually what it's going to do is it's going to expand the... Oh, no, see, yeah. It's just for some reason it's cutting it off. Why? That makes no sense. Because life is suffering, and it just wants me to suffer with it. Okay. God, that's incredibly frustrating. Well. I wonder if it's something to do with rounding issues. Probably not. Alright, well then for the time being I'm just going to cheat this and say plus height times 2f. And that should apply enough padding at the bottom here to make everything square and nice and even. Ta-da. Why I had to do it that way, no one will ever know. Well, at least I can get rid of these debugs now. And that gives me something to look at later. To do figure out height issue later. That's an incredibly vague comment, so I know what I'll talk about. I guess it doesn't matter because I'm going to be doing it after the stream tonight. All right, hooray! That means we can finally get onto populating more sections and doing some art tonight. So we're gonna get the initial groundwork laid for our graveyard area, and then we will also probably start. I don't know if we'll be able to finish. We probably will, just because it'll be easier to do in one go. Work on the graveyard gates. So those will be the gates that you walk through to get through the fences into the graveyard itself. So, all right. Now that we have these actually laying out properly, let's go ahead and it would be super convenient if I could actually do all of these at once. But let me grab my art book. And once again, I'll show you guys that image. So this is the diagram we're going off of. Let me put my pencil somewhere that it won't fall off and kill me. So we're going to need, so we already have 13, or 9 by 13 is our dimensions, which we've already set up. And now we're going to actually have to fill everything in. Now this is going to be kind of weird, because we're making a shape with a lot of walls, basically. So first things first, we're going to have, let's see, the top 3, so these guys are going to be empty. This guy is going to be a path Z with walls on the left. It's going to be tree wall on the left and right. Same here. It's going to be a path Z with tree walls on the left and right. I really do need some way of visualizing these. From there, we're going to open up into some empties. And actually, let's go ahead and edit that. We're going to have some woods section IDs. We're actually going to have some graveyard stuff. So let's add, I guess it would be at the bottom. That's where I would probably want to put these. We're going to say graveyard graves equals, let's just say 100 to be safe. Alright, let that load. And going off the diagram again. Actually, you know what? I might download this so that I can put it in a file that you guys can look at. This is going to be fun. I'm going to add stuff on, or add stuff live. So we're going to add a image plans. Okay. Let's see. Here we are. And it covered the entire thing. Let's shrink that down a little bit. God, that was a massive image. So we're going to put that up at the top left for now. Hopefully that doesn't come across too poorly for you guys. Might be a little hard to see, but let's go ahead, go back to Unity. That's a little obnoxious. Maybe I'll move it over here. So it's not blocking off most of the work area. Let me know if that's in a bad spot. It looks semi-fine on the stream, at least to me. Alright, so we're going to change this from empty to graveyard graves. And this guy's going to have trees on his top and trees on his left. Alright, next one is going to be, again, graveyard graves. We're just going to have it up top for trees. Graveyard graves. Same thing. I'm going to say at the top. Alright. Now this guy is going to be Path Z. I'm going to go ahead and do this guy too. Path Z. Oop, that's never a good sign. Shoot. Seriously? Oh, wonderful. Let's go to software, text quest, woods layout. Okay, so not super great. Let's go ahead and clear that. Hope that we don't get it again. We probably will, though. So we're going to go to 5-2. Yep. How is that out of range? Are you kidding me? Did it not initialize? 10-1 says it didn't initialize properly. Hey, because I can't have nice things. So let's go to our woods layout. Sections. Yep. God damn it. Seriously? Oi. Window. Text quest woods layout. So that means it didn't initialize properly for some reason. Great. Let's see. Just out of curiosity. Okay, good. Unfortunate, because I'm pretty sure, yep, I gotta do all that again. Hey. Well, at least I discovered it early on. Didn't get too far. Okay, so this one is going to be section Path Z with trees on the left and the right. This is also going to be Path Z with trees on the left and the right. And here's where we get to the graveyards with trees up top, trees on the left. Graveyard, trees up top. Oh, not fence. Trees. Well, while I'm doing this, I'm trying to think what all is exciting in the gaming world right now. We do have a Nintendo Switch thing coming up, if I remember correctly. I think that's actually happening tonight. So, if you're interested in the Nintendo Switch, it happens at like 11 p.m. Eastern Time. But I guess that's 8 p.m. Let's see, trees up top. I guess that's 8 p.m. Pacific Time, so it makes a little bit sense there. And trees up top. Graveyard graves, trees up top, and trees on the right. Yeah, just without images here, I really should have some preview texture or something, just because it's kind of hard to remember where everything is and what all I've done. Actually, you know what I might do is this real quick. Draw section, color, 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 and let me think. Let me see if I can get this. I'll be very happy if I can. Color section color equals cached manager with a capital C dot get oh no, darn it. Let me see. Oh right, I can show you guys the preview functionality that I added over break. Over break. Talking like I'm in school. Over winter. Oh my god, I can't talk tonight. Over the holiday season, I guess. Let's see. So we don't want wood sections. We actually want. Let's see. Wood sections, spawn sections, walls, elements. Where do I reference these? Surely I have a way of getting elements. reinitialize this layout element. I guess it's just this. Ugh. Oh, that's wonderful, isn't it? Where? Let's see. Where are you? Where? Here we are. We're just going to say y, x, and dot, I'm guessing ID equals none. If that is the case, then we're going to do this color. Otherwise, we're going to do that color. So I'm going to change this to section color. All right, and then I'm going to change this to, I don't know, let's do 0.3. So if it's empty, it's going to be a lighter shade of gray. Ha! Now I can actually know which ones I've set up, or at the very least, which ones I've initialized. Yeah, I kind of like that it auto expands. That's super convenient. I'm glad I accidentally stumbled onto that. All right, so this is going to be, again, Graveyard Graves with walls at the left. Actually, the bottom is going to be... See, and here's where it gets interesting. With the fences, it's not quite as clear-cut which one should have, like, between two sections, which one should have the fence. And I think what I've decided is that the one that gets the fence is the one that basically is closer to the center of the fence. So this one won't have a fence on the bottom, but it will have trees on the left. All right, we're going to change you to Graveyard Graves. This one, besides that, nothing really special. Let's see. You are going to be path Z, Graveyard Graves, and Graves with trees at the right. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. Especially since we don't have sections set up for the Graveyard Graves at least. So once we get this functioning, we'll probably have some placeholder stuff that we do, and then we'll get to work on the actual real sections. So let's see. This is going to be interesting. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make these guys empty. So pretty much everyone here is going to be empty. The path stuff, let's see. You're going to be path Z still. Empty. And actually, I forgot. These at the top are going to be fences. Fence. The middle is going to be left open for now because it's going to be a gate prefab eventually. But for now, since that's not finished yet, we're going to leave it empty. And this is going to be top fence and right fence. Which means this guy's actually going to be left fence. Again, we're going to leave this empty. Left is going to be fence. Empty. Let's see. Man, this middle section is absolutely massive. Empty. Let's see. So this is path Z. That means that this guy is going to actually be path... corner top right, I think. Which means that this guy is path corner bottom left. We'll find out. I think that's correct. Actually, no, that's not. That's not even close to being correct. You'll see what I mean when we actually generate the level. This is going to be empty, and this is going to be empty with fence on the right. Okay, we are halfway there. Empty, fence on the left, let's see. So that's the corner bottom left. This guy is going to be path Z. Empty and empty with a fence on the right. All right. Empty. Empty. Oh, almost forgot. Fence on the left. This guy is actually going to be path Z. Going to be empty. Oh, wait. Did I do this wrong? Ah, crap. I think I did. Well, it's fine. Empty with a fence on the right. Oh my god, this is just absolutely riveting, you guys. Let me tell you. Jeez. I think I'm going to cheat. I'm going to just fill in the bottom real quick and get us up to the fence areas. Then we'll hopefully have something that's a little bit more interesting to look at. Path Z. Trees on the left and the right. Trees on the left and the right. It's path Z. Path Z. Path Z. Do bottom left, even though I know these guys are wrong. Top right. Okay. Let's see. Last things are going to be graveyard. Graveyard. No, probably should do the bottoms. Trees. Trees. Graveyard with bottom trees. I feel really bad for anyone who's tuning in for the first time. This is like one of the most boring ones I think I've done. It'll be well worth it once we actually get through it, but for now it's kind of like, oh, yes, I promise it's all going to be good, guys. Trees. I think I might have miscounted. Maybe. I feel like I did. Well, that would make me disappointed. I suppose we'll find out, won't we? So there's going to be... I don't know, I guess these are the graveyards still. Graves with trees at the left. Graves. 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 So exciting. Graves. Trees at the right. Graves with trees at the right and the bottom. Trees at just the bottom. Okay. Almost there. Fences. With fences at the bottom and the left. Let's see. Empty with, again, fences at the bottom. Empty with fences at the bottom. Empty with fences at the bottom and right. Okay. Now, before we can actually do anything, I do need to populate, or I do need to make the actual section for the graveyard, or for the grave, and I need to make sure that the graveyard fence will populate properly. However, we are very, very close. So I'm just going to grab ground grass. It's going to be the basis for the graveyard stuff. Get rid of this, hit OK. I'm going to call this graveyard graves. This is going to be, that's all correct. Okay, well that works out fine. Minimize these so I don't have to constantly look at them. And let's select this. And it's going to just be put right here. Okay, so I'm going to save this stuff real quick. And let's delete you. Make you 9. Graveyard graves. And last thing we need to do is just make sure that our preview elements are going to actually draw properly. Let me put away my drawings, and we can actually test this in a second. Fence prefab, find all references. Good, we're not doing anything with it yet. We shouldn't be. Find all references. This is where it gets good? Question mark. Okay. Oh boy, this is just gonna suck. Switch element dot topside case trees break. Oh boy. This is gonna be kind of brutal, actually. Switch element dot bottom side. Because when we originally did these, I didn't really have multiple cases for these. It was just going to be, there was trees on the, or there were trees on the bottom left, top, or right. And once I decided, there's actually, I probably need to support multiple possible values. So for fences or exits or gates, whatever. Then I needed to make these switch statements. And oh boy. That is just not going to be fun. Okay, so let's lay out side type dot trees. Fortunately, we don't have to do anything extra for the trees themselves. They're already taken care of, and they all draw properly. Element dot. Oh crap. This needs to be left side. Case trees. Now, if I'm lucky, I might be able to actually calculate these things out ahead of time, but who knows? Okay, so we set up our switch statements, and actually that's not even it. I'm not going to worry about the generating so far. I'm actually going to show you guys the preview capabilities that I set up for the layout element. So, of course, I have to do that all again here. Copy these guys. Okay, so we're going to say switch case trees break. I'm just going to copy and paste this 3 times. It's going to be bottom, left, and right. All right, let's go ahead and grab these guys. Top side. Grab this. Bottom side. Grab this. Left side and then right side. Okay. And now we can actually start doing the other cases. So to start off, let's start with our top side. We're going to say case, let's layout type dot fence break. Now I'm actually thinking we might not even have to have these switch statements, or rather we might not have to calculate all of these things, but we'll see. This is going to, oh boy. Oh man, this is gonna really suck. But we'll see what we can do. Mesh, fence mesh equals fence prefab dot get component in children mesh filter dot shared mesh. Ta-da. All right. We're doing something that's kind of buried inside Unity's functionality, but you can actually draw meshes manually, like directly into the graphics buffer. And I like to use that to actually preview everything so that I can see what it's doing. And what we're going to do here is we're going to grab the mesh of the graveyard gate, or of the graveyard fence, to actually draw it in a preview format. So it's not actually going to be in the scene, but we'll be able to look at what the scene would roughly look like. It does seem to have a problem with with children objects inside of a prefab. It doesn't seem to grab their position properly, but that's kind of understandable, and it probably just needs some more experimentation on my part. Oh, right, the materials. Wait. Well, let's copy this. Fence mat. It's also incredibly weird to dig through a prefab's children to grab components. That's a really weird way to get into Unity's assets. All right, so we're going to say, can I even do this? I feel like it's going to freak out if I try to use position twice. Yep, I knew it. Oh boy, of course. Well, you know what? We're just going to sort of like fill these in really quickly. So, fence pose. Fence pose. Fence mesh. Fence. Not mince. Fence mat. Alright. Da-da-da. Fence. I really hope that this works. I will be amazed if this works in the first go. Just because it seems like I would have to actually do way more. So fence pose. Oops. Come on, work with me here. Fence mat. We're very, very close. And finally, bottom. Fence pose. Fence mesh, and then fence mat. Okay. Let's just see if this works. Oh, let's see if it compiles at all. I don't think I had any errors. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Alright. Well, I can probably get rid of that image now. So let me turn that off so you guys don't have to look at that while I'm doing everything. Okay, moment of truth. Gonna save real quick so that nothing breaks. And oh, of course. What did I forget? Oh no, it's a mesh. Oh no. Wait, get preview mesh. Why are you freaking out? Oh, it's because it's all the... Oh, right, I forgot I did this. Well, I guess... Wait, that means that a section ID was null. What was that? Let's take a look at these, make sure that everything's on board. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to. Oh, wait, no, that is. That's fine. Let's see, corner bottom left, corner top right. Oh no, don't tell me that I put something in that isn't actually referenceable. Let me debug this real quick. Debug.log ID string. Hopefully it's something small that we can actually fix really quickly. All right. Shazam. Okay. Clear this. Let's try it again. Interesting. Something's passing. Oh, right. Find all references. What I'm going to do here is say if element.id equals .none, continue. So we'll just skip it because there's no reason to draw something if we don't want to draw it. Okay, so hopefully that will fix our issue. I'll be super happy if that was it. Come on. Rolling the dice, and darn it. So close. Great. What are you mad at? On draw gizmos. Woods layout 208. 208. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. What are you freaking out about? Is your size not up to date or something? The size is correct. 9 by 13. We have 13 here. We have 9. Then why are you mad? $208. How wonderful. I didn't skip something important, did I? No. Okay. Well, let's do this then. So, debug.log. We're going to do elements of I is equal to null. And then debug.log elements of I dot elements J, I suppose, equals null. I might actually just do dot count. And here I might say dot count as well. And I'll move this up to here. All right, let's see what happens. Because it's really weird that we do seem to get to the Z section, which is in the middle, but then something breaks. I don't quite know what. Let's skip down here. Yeah, these guys all seem to be fine. Weird. Okay, let's try this one more time. 13 and 9. But then what's breaking? Gotta love it. Let's see, 211. It's only this, huh? Why are you doing that? Hello, Neverall007. What do I want to do? I'm getting I have a preview functionality set up so that I can actually draw meshes in the editor without actually instantiating them into the scene. But it seems like my iteration through one of my arrays is turning up a out of range exception, which is very strange because looking at the values, they're correct, 9 and 13. Um, hmm. Well. I wonder actually. Oh, maybe I need to do this backwards. No. We've already done this before. Had this exact problem. So we're hitting 13 and 9, and we should have 13 and 9. That should be the correct order. But for some reason, this isn't turning up right. Okay. Let me try debugging this. I'm going to debug J, and I'm going to debug I. I'm going to see what the last iteration is before it throws that error. By the way, welcome to the stream, Neverall. I don't think I've seen you on the stream before, so if you've been here before, I apologize. I have a terrible memory. Okay, it's finished compiling. Where did you break? You broke at 8. Or you broke at 9. Oh, I suppose that... No? Well, yeah, that would make sense. Except... No. What the fuck? Maybe I had this backwards. Let me try this real quick. No, that doesn't... I might have my iteration elements incorrect, so it's using the wrong indexes. That would explain things. So this should actually be J, and this should be I. However, if that's the case, I think we're actually going to get like a skewed, messed up preview. But we'll find out, won't we? I love multidimensional. Or I guess arrays within arrays. Alright. Well, we didn't have any errors. That's a good thing, I guess. And there was our preview. So I'm going to turn off those debugs. They're murdering my frame rate. Yeah, the drawing a mesh preview is kind of a weird experimental thing that I'm still messing with. It does seem to have some memory issues where I can't do it for too long because it seems like each scene repaint causes a drop in performance. So let's go ahead, let's visualize, and there we are. So yeah, everything's drawn way askewed. As you can tell, that is clearly not correct. So let's turn you off. Zoom way out here. Move this down. Give you a better look. So this is what the preview looks like. But again, it's clearly doing this in the wrong order. I think what we're going to do is we're going to reverse this. So this is going to be Y. Y. This is going to be X. And let's see if that works. I'll be amazed if it does, but you never know. Sometimes I'm a bit of an idiot whenever I was coding this stuff. All right. Trying to preview, and well, it's I wouldn't say less wrong. I wouldn't say more correct. That's a really hilarious shape. Let's turn off visualize, and let's go back here. So why are you not playing ball? Oh, because these guys need to be set back. So this needs to be I, and this needs to be J again. I wonder why that wasn't throwing an error. Well. Okay. One more time. There we are. So that sort of looks correct. I mean, that's the layout I was expecting. Yeah, and you can see that as I drag along, it gets choppier and choppier with each drag. I don't quite know what that drop in performance is. As soon as I uncheck visualize, it's back to normal, and I can check it off again and move around for a little bit. I I don't quite know what's doing that. I'm guessing that it's because it's retrieving those meshes and storing them in memory every frame, or at the very least every frame that I'm repainting the scene, and that causes noticeable problems. I also just realized that I made that mesh incorrectly, didn't I? Yep, I did. Crap. Um, how long have I been using C Sharp? I've been using C Sharp ever since I started work with Unity, so 4 years, I think. 3 or 4 years seems about right. No, surely it's longer than that. 4 or 5 years. Probably 3 or 4. I'm gonna say 4.5, just to be safe. So yeah, there's our preview. And you can see that the trees are kind of painting in a weird stacked position. That's because they're, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, getting the actual transform values for these children of the mesh or of the prefabs is kind of weird. So we're gonna have to change our fence prefab just a little bit. Actually, it's kind of, oh man, it's a little bit more frustrating than I didn't think about stacking multiple ones in the same row. Yeah, I was dumb. Are you a game developer yourself, Nerval? Or Neverl? I want to call you Nerval because it sounds like Nurgle. Um, I really shouldn't do that. Let's see. Oh, and I need to fix one of my fences here. I think I forgot to do a fence on the bottom. So let's turn this into a fence. Oh, that's so cool. Auto expand. Save this. And then if we preview that, yeah, there's our fence there. Um, all right. Oh, come on, Unity. The services link is sometimes really, really frustrating to work with. It always likes to update itself and then pull over to that tab. It's kind of annoying. So, what's wrong with this image so far? We do have a couple of things here that we don't have filled in. Looks like, oh no, that's probably just our Z pathing. I'm going to fill in these side areas to be what they should, and then I will test spawning this level. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to go very well, but we'll at least be able to run around and look at it. So let's stop our preview. Let's come over here, and we're going to set you to, I'm just going to say empty with trees up top and trees on the left. Going to be empty as well with trees on the left. And you will also be empty with trees, not up top, trees on the left. And I believe we want trees on the bottom for you. Nope, we got one more trees, so not on the right, just on the left. Empty with trees on the left, not on the bottom. Yarg. There we are. All right, let's preview that to see if that looks right. We're close. We're still missing one. So that means that you're not right. So you're going to be trees none on bottom. And you will be empty with trees on bottom, trees on the left. I'm working with Blender, 3D graphics, almost 12 years. Nice! I've messed around a little bit with Blender, but I haven't done it in a while. I know their interface has vastly improved, because I looked at it a couple of years ago, and I remember thinking that, God, the interface is terrible. And I think they've overcome that problem recently, if I remember correctly, but I haven't really messed with it since I messed with it all those years ago. But you know, it's still a nice thing. Empty top is going to be trees. Right is going to be trees. Empty with right being trees. Empty with the right being trees. Empty with the right being trees. Are you a games animator? or I guess actually I should ask which part of modeling do you prefer? Do you prefer character rigging, animation, uh, just mesh creation? Everyone's got their favorite. It's going to be right and bottom. And real quick, I'm going to clear my error here. And before we play, I am going to do a couple of things. I'm going to change my spawn coordinate to, we're going to say 5x 0y. I think that'll be about right. And then let's take a look at our spawning logic up here. Where are you? Where are you? Spawn sections. Here we are. So yeah, I guess I want to put these in reverse. So Y, Y, X, and I and J. I think that's correct. All right, so the last thing I need to do is set up this, or spawning the fences. So this is going to be fun. Let's see, so we're going to copy this. Say dot fence. Change this to fence pose. Da-da-da. Fence pose, and real quick, we're going to change, well not change, we're going to add this. Say private list fences. Come down here, call this fence. Change this to fences. Fence prefab. Okay. That's that. And we'll be able to do same stuff down here. Oh, okay. Guess I don't need to do anything special for that one, do I? Fence prefab. Oh yeah, before I forget, I always forget this question, but I like to ask people who come to the stream. How'd you find the stream? Was it just something you were stumbling through Twitch and found randomly? Fence pose. And fence prefab. Okay, one more section and then we'll be able to actually play it. Change this to fence. Fence pose. And hopefully it'll actually spawn in the correct order, because that would be kind of a disappointment. I should probably change this to say fences instead of walls. And alright, so let that compile real quick. And then magic. Alright, I really hope this works. I'm going to maximize on play. If we're lucky. I fell through the world, which means that something broke. Oh, I bet I forgot to say skip if there's nothing, or if the asset is null. Yep, I did. If element dot id is equal to none, continue. So we'll skip it if there's nothing to request. Modeling and animation for different companies. Last time I did an animation of mining machines, before animation of a new military vehicle for the Poland military. Cool. So you're a freelancer? Okay. I think it's compiled, and now we can test. hopefully that'll fix it. High hopes, high hopes, high hopes. Oh, I was very close. I guess I need to move over one for some reason. Why am I... Okay. Interesting, there's a key not found exception. I wonder what that was about. I guess we're going to change you to 4. That's really weird. Why 4? Well, it doesn't matter. Okay. Hooray! I'm curious about this key not found exception, though. I guess I'm not too worried for now. We'll get into that in a little bit. So yeah, we got some gaps and some clearly not correct pathing, but that's because I haven't set up the actual prefabs for those yet. So fence doesn't look too bad. Oh dear. I will have to redo the texture though. So I did redo the substance texture so that the ivy actually sort of grows in a better pattern. So it's not sort of, it's still a little zigzaggy, which is, I mean, going to happen no matter what because it's growing along the mortar. But it doesn't have the step pattern anymore, and it looks like it's growing up the sides a little bit better. However, it clearly does not match up very well when it overlaps. We get stuff like that, so I'm going to have to, that's not going to be fun to fix, but I'm going to have to fix it because I'm a perfectionist. So do you like to model while you're in the off hours? Do you like to do your own work? Or are you just sort of like a business and then come home and do whatever you want? Relax. As most people do, I suppose. I'm trying to learn Python language, but this is some kind of black magic. Good modeling, texturing, animations, programming. Nope. Yeah, well, it's a very different mindset. It's very rare to be able to do both very well. Sometimes you get... It's not unusual to get people like me who are okay at both, but not great at either. So I know how to do almost everything, but I don't know how to do everything well, or expertly. I am capable of doing most things, but there's definitely a gap in knowledge for what I can do. Oh, did I make these trees instead of fences? It kind of looks like I did. I'm guessing yes, I did. That's weird. I don't remember doing that. Okay, well, let's stop playing real quick. And I'm going to find a couple things. Don't really care about that for now. I do want to know where this key not found exception is coming from. Spawn sections was layout 198. What's layout 198? Oh, it's because I need to do this. Y and X. I believe that will fix my problems. I'm doing this for fun and making some money. I have another job studying IT for 7 years. Oh, IT is pretty good work. I always had trouble getting into the more data-centered sort of areas of computer science, just because it was soul-crushing work. I just hated doing it. I really don't have a taste for the back end of computer sciences, so stuff like database management and data entry and all that drives me nuts. Oh, right. Let's go ahead and fix that issue real quick. Top is fence and the right is fence, yeah. Huh. Interesting. It rendered as... That's weird. Maybe I did something wrong? Let's see. What the heck? Why are you doing that? Everywhere else is correct, but the right... Oh, you know what it is? I bet I did something stupid. Yep, there it was. Tree wall prefab. Hate it when I do that. But yeah, that's cool. I actually wish that I could get more into animation. I haven't had the pressing need to, but it's something I would like to do. Because I messed around with Maya a lot. In fact, a lot of models in TextQuest were done with Maya. Um, and I even started doing stuff like mel scripting for making tools in Maya. So I was making a stair generator, I think, that you could specify like amount of steps that you wanted, total size, everything like that. And it was pretty nice, but I only needed it for one case. I just kind of wanted to do some mel scripting to see what it was like. Um, you need some sort of low or high poly models, make it for free, just for fun. Well, I appreciate it. Um, Unfortunately, a lot of the texture work for these things is insane. Um, Mostly because I end up having to make sure that really tiny details are legible. But for the most part, the game is actually a fairly simple aesthetic, so I haven't had the need for anything pressingly crazy. Good. I'm glad I can't jump over this. I was a little worried. Because as you can see, everything's kind of blocky, which makes it super easy for me. But yeah, it's higher, like more complex animations are things that won't really happen in TextQuest, but definitely in future games, that's going to be something I need to learn how to do, just so that I can be able to competently talk with people and be like, this is what I'm looking for, this is what we want, this is what we need to be able to do. So I'm going to have to redo these fences. Boo. Got to figure out a way that lets them tile correctly, too. Probably need to do something like, I don't know, if I bring them, maybe if I just bring it in a little bit, that'll be fine. Um, Alright, well, let's make sure that the right side actually rendered properly. Hooray! They're fences! They're not trees! Alright. Well, what we might do then, since we got things roughly spawning, and most of the issues with the pathing and such is my fault, I think we're gonna start modeling out the grave prefabs. Mostly I'm kind of curious to see what type of graves I'm going to need for this. Oh, also my fog seems to have stopped. It seems to only be over here. I'm guessing that's because it's probably local space. Oh, gross. Ah, that's going to be something fun. I have to dynamically move the fog with me. I wonder if I can do that programmatically. That would be interesting. Probably would cause problems, though. Anyway. So it's nice that we have everything rendering, at least. We do have it showing up correctly. Oh, that's interesting. Moving the actual size seems to clear the memory buffer, so it... Ah! Curious. Alright, let's go ahead and untoggle that. Let's see. Let's jump over to our modeling scene, and let's get to modeling some graves. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and save, and we're going to change our layout to Pro Builder Dev. Oh, I guess we still had the key not found exception. That's not good. I'll have to take a look at that, see what I can do. Let's clear this, and... Alright, so... We're going to need to model some graves to... I guess I should probably actually show where they're going to go. Of course, as soon as I leave the scene, I have to go back. So let's check this off. So we're going to have some gravestones to fill in around this area. It is a cemetery, after all. So we're going to want some fairly basic headstones, nothing too fancy. Uh, the general plan is to have. Okay, yeah, I know. There's got to be a memory problem that I can fix with that. I do not like having to constantly repaint this. So we're going to have graves all along the corners here. We're going to have graves in the center area. And in the very center, we're actually going to have a mausoleum, so sort of like a big stone building. Um, and long-term plans for this is you're going to be able to come here during the day, first time you come here, and there's not going to be too much for you to do. You'll be able to get some treasure. But if you come back later in the game, you'll actually be able to get into the mausoleum and go to a secret area. That's way more difficult than the rest of the game, probably. But for now, we just need some graves to sort of fill in these. Oh, wait for it. There it is. I bet that was a memory leak. Okay, so mental note: do not keep Unity open for that long, or don't keep the preview toggle checked for that long. Please don't re-import everything. Please don't re-import everything. If it re-imports everything, we might. Okay, good. As I say, if it did, we were probably gonna have to end the stream there because it would take like 10 minutes for it to re-import everything. That's just not fun. Well, in any case, all that exposition is out of the way now, so we can actually get into the modeling. Let's come over here, and we're going to get started with ProBuilder. All right. So, first things first, I'm actually going to cheat. I'm going to grab my... Let's turn off Polybrush. Grab this W. I'm going to drag this over to the center. This empty grass area is what our... why does it look like my light is not? All right, fine. This is going to be the sort of ground type that we have to work with for our graveyard. Can't talk tonight. So that means I'm thinking about 6 graves per section. So I'm probably going to have 6 different grave types. We'll see what we can get. Let's start with a cube. Put that out, zero it out. Now the default cube size is 1 by 1 by 1, so 1 meter squared, or cubed, actually. And we're going to probably shrink that down, so we don't need as thick. Let's go to 0.5. That's probably too much. Let's go to 0.25. That's pretty good. You know what, actually, let's do some gravestones. Because I'm picturing this as a bit of an older graveyard, so you're not going to really have the modern sort of like marble gravestones. You're going to have some older style, a little bit more basic. We might do something like this, actually. If you have any good gravestones that you would like to me to examine, I don't really know. I have not hung out in graveyards as much as I probably should. That is a 3D model. So, that is Minecraft. I do not want to just. I don't want to just do this. I don't want to do like the very very simple gravestones. Oh, it might be interesting to have some above ground caskets. That could be an interesting thing. Let's just do a post for now. So it's going to be a very simple one, nothing too crazy. So one of our graves will be a post. Let's make it 0.25. That's not too bad. Well, it does feel a little... I suppose I would say Japanese. Japanese have that type of gravestone. They have the headstone. That's a post. If this is meant to be a little bit more Western style, you're going to have a wider frame. We could do 0.5, something like that. It's still sparse, but it's not quite as thin. Let's just try this. All right. So the next step, open up Illustrator, and we're going to make our texture. Let's go ahead and make a new file. We're going to call this gravestone. Actually, we'll probably call it graves. Yeah, we'll just call it gravestone. If I'm going to have multiple types of gravestone, I'm probably going to either try to atlas this or have a bunch of masks. It's probably going to be the latter. Okay, so let's do this. Why can I not capitalize? Gravestone. It's going to be base layer. Actually, these are all going to be masks because I want to adjust these colors on the fly, I'm sure. And let's see, we're going to have a background. We're going to have text. All right, so for our background, let's go ahead and get rid of the stroke. I'm going to make it solid black so that I have an easier time looking at it. All right, of course I went to text, it always does. I'm going to lock that layer so I don't accidentally do anything with it. And we're going to come up here to text. We're going to make it Commodore 64, no anti-aliasing, 72 pixel font. And we're just going to say grave. Of course, it defaults to black because it likes to make me suffer. Make it white. All right. So let's look at our mesh real quick. We're going to have a couple of... So we're going to have three... we're going to have three sides. We're going to have a front and back, a top and bottom, and then a left and a right. And actually, we might just have a top because there's no real sense in rendering the bottom. So three sides because the left and right will be the same, front and back will be the same, and the top will be its own thing. So let's go back to Illustrator. Now, the trick here is actually going to be, let's shrink this down. So our leading is 48. Okay, that's probably a good front. Then we're going to have another one. Let's duplicate this. Oh, right, I can't duplicate with that shortcut. Move this out. And this is going to say stone. Stone. And then we're going to have one that just says top. That, of course, defaults to black again. All right. So those are three areas, but they're not necessarily equal. So let's see. If I have 6 gravestones that I want to do, I bet I can get 3 per material. If I want to have high fidelity, I could probably technically go more, but I like to have really high fidelity, and I need it for the text. Which is actually kind of one of the annoying parts of doing texture design for TextQuest is normally a texture that you could normally sort of shove down to like 256 in TextQuest needs double that resolution because the text needs to be legible. So I never go below 512 because if I do, the text looks terrible. So let's see. So if I can do 3, we can do like 2 small ones and a big one. I think that's about right. So let's go ahead and it's a little thin. It'll have a lot of white space around it, which is kind of annoying. I don't know if I can get around that though. So let's move you over to the right. Move you down to here. All right. so I'm going to go ahead and make a new section. Well, actually, it'll just be the background, won't it? Okay. So this is going to have a width of 256. Oh, no, sorry, 512. And a height of 512. Okay, and then we can move this up to the top left. Turn this off. Let's make our background here black. Actually, no, we'll keep it white. Because these are going to be masks, so I should make my text black, because eventually our height map information is going to come from this. And since it's stone, we want our letters to be inset, not raised. And I am going to change our background from black to medium gray, so that I know it's not meant to be there forever. 50%. Okay. So these are going to be our three sections: top left, top right, entire bottom. So we can have three different types of gravestone with two small and one big. So we can actually increase these sizes a bit. Let's go to 96. Let's go to 60. Probably not going to be able to get much taller than that. So, no, I think we could. Let's go to 120. And bump this up to 72. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, that means we're going to bump you up to 120. 72. This is where it's going to get kind of awkward. Okay, there we are. And then top. Let's grab these two guys. Ideally, we will be able to put top above or below them as opposed to the side. I don't know if we can, though. Probably just not going to get away with that, so I'm going to bring both of these guys back down. And I'm going to increase this text size to 120. Rotate. Move this in. We're going to set our tracking to be -100. And actually, we're going to shrink it further for the T, -150. Nope, -200. Just so that it becomes a little bit closer together. Going to redo some of these layouts a little bit. We're going to need to increase this to, I'm guessing, 96. Oh, right, that does it backwards. 96, too much. 84. Oh, crap. 84. There we go. And then I'm going to shrink these three down to 68 to compensate. There we are. Alright, so that's the mask for our very basic gravestone. You know, I wonder if I should make top say head. Because, headstone. Ooh. Yeah, I kind of like that. Okay, fine. Let's get rid of that. Head. And for that, we're actually going to say -100. And I'm probably actually going to shrink this down to 96. Just to see. Yeah, no, we're actually going to need to shrink it down to probably 72. Move this down. All right. So, gravestone.ai. Okay. I'm going to get a quick and dirty get this working here. I'm going to get a quick and dirty substance going, and then we'll probably call it a night. Mostly because I'm pretty sure I could sit here for 3 hours modeling and texturing everything. But that's not super fun. So change this to be black. All right. So we're going to save this out. Save this as an SVG. I'm going to call this gravestone 1 mask. That should be fine. All right. Now we got to navigate to everything. So game development. Unity, text quest, art. Let's grab both of these things. It's going to be textures, environment, overworld. Yeah, so Neveril, have you done, I know you said you were, you did texturing. What do you use to texture? Do you just use Photoshop to Blender pipeline? Have you used Substance before? Environment, overworld, woods. Okay. So let's go ahead and come down here. We're going to make a new substance, and this is going to be... Why will you not capitalize? Gravestone. Hit OK. And we're going to drag in our Gravestone 1 mask. Link resources. Okay, we're going to convert this to... Use GIMP. Okay. I've always had problems with GIMP. Like even recently, I messed around with it, and it feels like it's so slow to do anything. And that always drove me nuts. It's not like Photoshop is much better. Photoshop can be a huge resource hog, but GIMP is just so slow. I always felt like I was trying to sort of art through molasses. I'm just going to call this gravestone.sbs. But if you ever get the chance, I do recommend Substance. It's actually pretty nice. Mostly for material generation. If you're not doing anything super crazy, you don't really need it. I just decided to go nuts with art for a game that's a text-based adventure. Okay, so we're going to do... Oh man, you know what? This is... Well, I would have to perform those color calculations anyway. Alright, that's fine. So we're going to do normal. Same thing we always do. We're going to expose our normal format, call it normal format. Hit OK. OK. Let's see. I'm going to move this down to here. We're going to do a normal combine. It's going to be our last step. Let's copy you. Move you down here. There's our normal map. Let's pull you in. And that's actually all I had to do for that, which is nice. And then we're actually going to have to get into... let's do some coloring before we get too crazy. And I guess we'll actually be able to do our roughness maps and our metallic maps. So we're going to make this grayscale, plug that in. It's stone, so it's going to be super rough no matter what. And the exact opposite for our metallic map. It's going to be not metallic. Alright, so now all we have left is our normal map and our color. Uniform color. We get color out of the way just so it's a little bit easier. Make it an absolute value, 16 by 16, so we're not doing color calculations on giant 2K textures. Let's copy you, paste it, and we'll do a blend node. It's going to be super nice and simple. Going to be relative to parent. Color you and super red. Ta-da! And we're done. Not really though. Let's see. So we're looking at, I'm guessing, sort of a... Let's do a bluish stone to start. A dark blue, like a dark gray. Maybe a lighter one like that. And then our our text color is going to be let's go a little bit darker, dark blue, something like that. This is just sort of a rough place for now. We are eventually going to come back through because I'm gonna want stuff like ivy and cracks, which actually we will do right now anyway. So let's do. Actually, I don't know what would be some good noise. Kind of like that. I'm also going to bump my textures up to 2K for now, just so that I can see what they look like at high res, and then I'll bump it back down. So let's get clouds. Does that? No, that's not something that's useful. Let's do dirt 1. No, not dirt 1. Actually, I don't want to. I wonder if dirt gradient would actually be a good spot for this. It might be. I very rarely get to use this because I can't use it on tiling textures, but I can use it on things like this. This is going to be interesting. Alright, so let's get some levels in here. I'm going to move you out, move you guys back 1, move you to here, paste you. We're going to do a normal blend. Oh, not a height normal blend, just a normal blend. Move you to here, here, here. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. I guess we're gonna do this. Between these, we're gonna add a transformation 2D. Multiply it by 2. Oh dear. Oh dear. Really, I thought it would tile vertically, but apparently it doesn't want to play ball. So I could do something like that. Why is my text not really showing up here? It's like barely noticeable. But why? It's incredibly strange. Huh. Weird. I don't know why that's doing that. Because, I mean, our base texture is totally correct. Got this sort of rough stone, which I'm going to actually... Do I want that? Let's smooth this out just a little bit. So let's bring it down. Well, actually, I might keep it up and make the contrast a little bit more. And then let's try shifting it radically. No, that probably isn't how that would look. Instead, let's do what I was doing before. I'm going to bring this up so that we don't have as many dark spots. Well, actually, not. No. I'm going to bring this down so we don't have as many raised. I'm going to bring this up so we don't have as many dark spots. So it's a little bit flatter overall, but it will give just a hint of texture. Because, you know, I figure most gravestones are going to be somewhat smooth, even if they've been ignored for a while. So we're going to have that. Not super crazy at how low res that looks, even at a high 2K res. No, it's fine. This is going to be interesting. Let's do this again. I'm going to shrink that down, and actually I'm going to move it up to the top left. See if that makes any difference. It really doesn't. It's incredibly weird. just don't multiply it by 2. Yeah, it doesn't want to play ball. Maybe the levels need to be more intense. No, come on, work with me there. See, because I would expect it to be a little bit more sort of intense, like you would have the bottom appear much thicker, but it's just barely noticeable. You can see it if you really zoom in, but it's not going to do much. Maybe if I increase this intensity to 2. I mean, that does something. It's definitely a lot easier to see it. It's also kind of weird, though. I don't know if I like that. It might make more sense for the regular texture to do that. Maybe I should reverse these. Ooh, yeah, that actually turned out pretty well. And if that's the case, I'm probably going to bump this back up so it's a little bit more noticeable. Yeah, I like that. I like the grunge there. Okay. Let's raise this, or let's lower this to 1. Nope, I liked it at 2. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's back these guys out. Move you down. Move you over. All right then. I'll probably actually move you up to there. Well, that was a super quick and easy one, probably because it's only 1/3 of a texture technically. But let's see. Let's go ahead and move you over to here for now. Yeah, this is going to be... It seems like it... I know it seems like this was a simple texture to do, but that's only because we only did a section of it. The end result, the end graph for this, when I actually come back and do this after the stream tonight, I'm willing to bet it's going to be one of my bigger graphs, especially because I'm going to have it toggle between 6 different gravestones instead of just 3. So, yeah, that's going to be fun. I have nowhere near such skill level, trust me. I just have a very, very specific set of skills. To borrow from Liam Neeson. I've just had a lot of time to hone what I do for this game. And I use this as I use TextQuest as a learning experience, so I always enjoy hearing about something. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I want to try that. So I just go off and do it. So this is going to be our, I guess we would call it Gravestone 1 color, not color. So I just had the time to sink into doing all of this. And I guess this is going to be expose new Gravestone 1 text color. Alright. I'm going to expose this as well. So this is going to be expose. Gravestone 1 intensity. Okay. And these guys are going to be roughness and metallic. I might just leave these alone for now because I'm probably going to have to adjust them. So we're going to save this. Let's go to our material settings. And we're going to say, so, gravestone. Alright, so now we get to organize these things. This is going to be normal format. So under the group normal. Same thing we always do, which is true. Open GL. False. DirectX. I need to look into if they're doing Vulkan anytime soon, because I would love that. that's that. Gravestone 1, it's under color. Simple. Gravestone 1 text. It is also under color. Let's move this down. Gravestone 1 intensity. Freaking capitalized G. That's also under normal. And that's going to be it for now, because I'm going to have to come back and do a lot after the stream tonight. But yeah, as far as the art stuff goes, if you ever get the chance, I do recommend Substance. It's pretty nice and way easier to get into than it seems at first. And you can do some really, really awesome things. Like you saw how quick it was for me to do something with just levels adjustment and sort of preset noise generation. And there are people out there who have actual skill who can do insane things like marble, which I still haven't figured out how to freaking do. Because I almost forgot. Gotta make sure that this is not an absolute and is relative to parent. And yep, at 256, that's what that looks like. And that is why we need very, very high resolutions. Well, not super high. 512 is actually usually pretty fine, but still. I'm going to say OK. Let's check it out. Gravestone.sbsar. Let's take a look at it in Substance Player. So this is what it looks like at 512 by 512, which is the lowest graphical setting that TextQuest supports because of text clarity. So that looks decent, which is always what I'm looking for at 512 by 512, is that it's legible. At 1K, it's nice. We get noticeable normal mapping. Actually, let me see what this looks like at 512. Yeah, I mean, the text is pretty much nothing, but it's running at 2K. 1K. Okay, so 2K really just has some normal map bumps on the text, but aside from that, nothing hugely gained. All right, so let's go ahead and bring that into Unity. TextQuest, Substance, Overworld, Wood. We're going to drag this in. All right, we're going to bump this up to 10 or to 1K. That's what I like to play at. Let's see, do we need anything special here? No emissive. It's opaque, that's all correct. All right, so now we can assign our cube. I'm going to make this freaking Gravestone 1. Okay. Oh, cool. Do you mind if I show this on the stream? Whenever someone posts, I like to show their work. But I always like to ask permission before I do anything, because sometimes people don't want to show off their work to the whole world. All right, let's get our material editor going. Let's drag this up to here. Hit apply. And then I will manipulate some UVs. Let's go to our UV editor. Grab both of these guys. Oh man, this is going to be fun. And actually, you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to delete. I'm going to delete the bottom face here because, as I was saying before, there's no reason to render that bottom face when you'll never see it. All right, so now let's get the rest of these. Actually, you know what? Drag these guys out. Freaking. Well, that is a nice tank, though. And that's what I mean when I say actual modeling skill. Like I lack the ability to do modeling on that detailed of a level. Most of my time is spent in the texture area. But I do want to get into stuff like ZBrush and figure out really complicated things like character motion, but I just haven't had a need to. So I just haven't learned that. It's a good and a bad thing, I suppose. All right, I'm going to rotate you 90 degrees. Oh, come on, work with me. And I actually want to rotate you 270. There we are. Damn, I think I might have. Well, actually, no, it's fine. And this is our front and our back, I'm guessing. So, well, is it? Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and shrink pretty much all of these guys. Oh, it came out almost perfect. Almost perfect. I think I stuck the grave too far to the left. Actually, no. I can shrink it down a little bit further. So let's say 0.4. 0.4. Ooh, still a little too far to the left. I could try like 3.5, but I think that's going to be pushing it. Yeah, crap. So close. Try 3.75. Yeah, it's a little too far left. I need to move it to the right a little bit. So for now, it's going to be a little off center. Well, thank you very much for following me. As you probably noticed, I lack a lot of necessary Twitch streaming services. I need to set up some sort of follow alert so that I can thank people whenever they do actually follow me. Um, but I just haven't had the time to actually to do that. Okay, so there's our head. Our head looks fine, which is good. Ah, no. See, that was stupid of me. I need to move my head up. Our normal map is going to look really weird because it's going to have high concentration at the bottom and then disperse towards the top, but then head is halfway down our texture, if you remember, so it's going to look really dumb. Dang it. So I got to move head above everything else if it's going to look correct. Let's see. So grave looks correct. It's too close to the edges. I like to have the edges near the text be padded fairly significantly. Otherwise, it tricks your eye and you can't read it legibly. So I'm going to select these two sides and shrink them down by that much, and we're going to move it over to stone. So these guys are going to match grave at 0.4 and 0.4. Okay. So there's our stone. There we go. And that's a simple gravestone. So that's the simplest gravestone we can do. And before we do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and I didn't mean to save, but it's a good habit. I'm going to generate its UV2s. I like to have 2 packing. So rebuild. And let me see what that looks like. Nice. Okay. So that's probably a good place to stop for the night. Let's see. I will be streaming again on Saturday. So I'm going to try to make the Saturday Devstreams a regular thing. That'll be roughly at 2 Eastern time, so 2 p.m. And do I have any other announcements? Not really. Slowly trucking along. Saturday's probably going to be some more custom content creation stuff. So it's going to be some code-heavy stuff going on, but it should be pretty fun for everyone. Side note, we might, probably not within the next couple of weeks, but sometime within a month, I'm guessing, we might start experimenting with speech to text, so people don't have to type everything, and we might like try some VR stuff. I don't know if that's going to make it into the final build of Text Quest, but it's interesting. I would like to experiment with it, see if that would be something that people might want to be interested or might be interested in. I honestly doubt I'll do much with it, but it'll be cool to experiment with for a Saturday Dev stream. So yeah, I think that's a good place to stop for the night. Neveril, thank you very much for tuning in, and thanks for the follow. It's always good to get new people on the stream and chat with them. So see, do I have any other announcements? Nope. All right. Well, as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.